Your friends are scrolling through short content, but you, my friend, you're here to learn. Welcome to the Honest Clips. I'd actually like to begin with your story because I just know there's some human story behind like the monk life. I feel for some reason you've seen a lot in your human journey before the monkhood began. While that is true for many monks, I feel some of the monks I've met have had a more unique journey than others, especially in their pre-monkhood life. Why do I feel like you've seen pain or something, man? Like before, like I feel like you've seen like some sort of heavy pain in your human side. Am I right? Am I wrong in saying that?
Of course, the Bhagavad Gita explains that our journey in spirituality didn't begin with this life. We're souls. And therefore, when we enter this life, we enter with a history. From previous lives, there is what we call a svabhav, certain impressions that we're carrying. And there's also karma, a certain reactions and a certain situation, a karmic configuration that we're coming into. In this life, I didn't go through a heavy, painful situation.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. All right.
But that's very likely to have happened at some point on the journey of the soul. I don't have recollection of that.
Okay.
My journey in this life began more out of a sense of inquisitiveness.
All right.
Maybe more a sense of feeling a lack of resonance with the way people were leading their lives and the desires and the goals that they set in their life as success. Something I just couldn't relate to. And there was always something sitting deep within me wanting to know what could be beyond that.
Okay. What was your pre-monkhood life like? What was your childhood like? Where did you grow up? Also, you clearly grew up outside of India. So how are you that Indian in the first place? I'm sorry if it's a rude, straightforward question, man. But I'm just curious.
My parents are from Gujarat. They came over to London in the 70s. So I was born in 81. Born in London in a place called Wembley, and quite a multicultural place, lots of different people, a lot of Indians as well. And I guess growing up, I had both exposure to the Western world, the modern culture of Western civilization.
What club did you support? Sorry.
I actually supported Leeds United.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, go on.
Don't ask me why. I just randomly picked them.
Okay. Because they were on the up in 2001.
Probably.
Okay. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 42 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look
I'm
like my
42.
age. Anyway,
Yeah.
Let's go on.
42.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. I'm curious about a bunch of these things.
Sure.
Wembley.
So exposure to the modern Western civilization, and at the same time growing up with Indian roots, Indian food, Indian household, and attendance at temples and, places of worship like that. But I think for me, when people ask me about what led me towards this life, one thing I noticed within myself from a young age was a gravitation towards simplicity. I was almost like having a lot of things was stressful for me. Wearing new clothes was I became very self-conscious. Once my father, he bought me brand new trainers, and I felt so embarrassed about walking into school and being the center of attention with something brand new. So I remember going into the loft of my house and walking around in the dust just to get them dirty before actually going out and wearing them. And I used to see poor people on the TV, poverty around the world. And I used to feel so bad, so guilty about having things. So from a young age, I always had an attraction, a kind of resonance with simplicity. And I think that definitely is one of the driving factors that led me towards monasticism.
Yeah. I think when you take up this monk life, there is a huge shift that happens even in the material part of yourself. What I mean to say is that, say, you decide that you want to become a monk, you have to give up your bank account, you have to give up your possessions. That's something that a lot of modern day people probably don't know the details of. So one, tell me about that, but also tell me about what led you to actually becoming a monk.
Yeah. Well, just on the point of giving things up, yes, when we enter the monastery, the motto is simple living, high thinking. We have a locker, and whatever you can fit in that locker is what you possess. We don't have a bed, we don't have a room. When I joined the monastery, they were like, "Are you sure? There's no beds." I told them, "I'm so tall, I don't fit on any of these beds anyway, so that one's going to be easy for me."
How tall are you?
6'5".
Wow. Okay. Go on.
So we sleep on the floor, everything in one locker. Meals in the day are regulated because eating and being regulated in that is a part of self-discipline. Wake up very early in the morning. We sever all connection with the bank account, so we don't have access to our own funds. And technology is only what is absolutely required for the communication of spiritual knowledge. Otherwise, we also stay away from technology. And in that way, we try to simplify everything.
Okay.
Actually, in the material world, they even know about this now. They realize that people suffer from decision-making fatigue. People in this world spend so much time in making decisions about hundreds and thousands of tiny things that when it comes to making decisions about the big things, they're so tired that they don't have the mental and cognitive energy to really think deeply about these things. And so even very, very famous and successful CEOs and executives, they live a very simple personal life because they realize they want to engage their energy in thinking about more significant things.
Yeah. I think that's what a spiritual journey does to you. Makes you a bit of a minimalist in multiple ways.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is that throughout the day, you do lesser things. You try thinking about lesser things, you save that energy and then make key decisions both in your professional and your personal life.
Yeah. 100%.
What the sadhana of a monk is like the kind of meditation you do, the kind of prayer you do. I don't know, it's just my own curious question. But how do you go about this? I actually want to deep dive into the Bhagavad Gita more, but I think this is a great base to begin with.
It starts very early in the morning. Of course, in spiritual culture, we understand the value of rising before the sun. The sun represents energy. So when we rise before the sun, when we rise with the sun, as the sun is rising, then it also allows that energy to be infused within us for the day ahead. So we always rise before the sun and be there for those moments. In those moments before the sun rises, we meditate. When an archer is about to release an arrow, then the first thing the archer does is pull back. Because when we pull back, although it seems like you're going further away from your target, it allows you to generate power, it allows you to direct, and it allows you to then know when to release for maximum impact. So if you want to have maximum impact in your life, that time when you meditate, you can liken it to a bowman taking the arrow back. So we meditate, we disconnect from the world. And by disconnecting from this world, we connect with the spiritual reality. We connect with our first identity, which is to be a spiritual being. We connect with our ultimate journey, which is that we're spiritual beings on a journey towards the spiritual world. So meditation is meant to help us instill this vision of eternity first thing in the day. Because then what happens is after you've joined what I call the 5 a.m. club, when you hit the 9 a.m. reality, you're hitting the 9 a.m. reality with a deeper vision because you've taken that time to orientate yourself. So we meditate. The type of meditation we do is something called mantra. Mantra, most people are familiar with. Mana means the mind, and tra comes from trayate, which means to free. literally a sound vibration which frees the mind. Sound is incredibly powerful because it awakens a consciousness within us that is inaccessible at the current moment, is kind of being covered over by different things.
You're saying our voice box is capable of creating these energy waves which actually change something inside us.
Yes. The mantra is a sound vibration. Like, for example, if I played one of your favorite songs from 20 years ago, as soon as I play the song, what would happen to you?
You'd go back to that time.
Go back to that time. You'd remember people of that time, memories of successes or failures, emotions, smells, sounds. All of it is triggered by sound. And therefore, that spiritual sound helps us to realize that we're just in a transit lounge. This life is a flash in eternity. We're just here for a chapter, and then we're going to move on. And we get so caught up, we get so entangled, we get so engrossed in this temporary chapter that we forget the bigger picture.
We're just here for a chapter.
Just here for a chapter.
So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out this playlist for more videos just like this. It's TRS Clips.